So how will this work?
We're taking everything that we understand about running a traditional stock exchange and applying it to a space where currently there are no rules. So we've seen a huge explosion in token generation events, ICOs, whatever you want to call them. $3 billion raised this year. It seems to be a great way for startups and fintechs to actually access funds. But currently there's no legislation anywhere and no rules anywhere, although we think that's set to change pretty soon as you go into 18. So what we've come up with, we've said, okay, let's open an exchange called the Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange. It's a subsidiary of the Gibraltar Stock Exchange, and let's take all the stuff that we understand about investor protection, reputational risk, and try to apply some of those to this nascent technology, this nascent space. So, for example, what keeps us awake? Investor protection. So we want to, first of all, ensure that ICO issuers know where they can go, in theory, to get their trusted network and token sale away. So if you come to our exchange, the first thing you're going to have is a sponsor network. Sponsors are approved by our exchange, and sponsors, if you think about traditional investment banks, sponsors will help you, the issuer, effectively take your token to market. So we've come up with a set of sponsors rules which define who can and can't be a sponsor, and also as a token issuer, what have you got to comply with in terms of disclosure, transparency, due diligence, what has to go in your white paper, everything that we believe currently is missing from this space.
So contracts are about to be traded on CME, CBOE, NASDAQ. How do you expect this to play out?
I think it's a sign that markets are maturing. I think it's what this sector needs. I think if you look at what's happened with the CME, etc., with what they're doing, they're taking Bitcoin and effectively making it more available to the traditional traders where actually you can start to short contracts. I think in terms of the token sale business, that is going to go through a similar process in terms of maturity over the next 2 to 3 years. I think at the moment it's still very early on in the cycle. If you look at your traditional institutional investors, they can't actually, or they're struggling to get access to invest in tokens because it's not a security as such where your traditional asset class. So again, what we're saying is, look, if you come to our exchange, token sale issuers will have gone through a vetting process based around best practices of disclosure and transparency and also reporting obligations in the secondary market. And you can launch your token and also be guaranteed a listing on our cryptocurrency exchange. So we think it's unique because it's a token sale platform and a cryptocurrency exchange. It's actually managed by a stock exchange, and that's the first in the world.